Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our final virtual open day of the year. My name is Izzy Panson, and I'm joined today by one of our second-year journalism students, Abs.
Hi everyone, it's great to welcome you all today, especially as we are live from our very own Media Lab, where you can find me normally.
I wish we could have met you all in person today, but seeing as we're online, why not say hello in the chat function and let us know what courses you're interested in too. Those of you who have registered before Tuesday lunchtime should have received your events pack and some hot chocolate and biscuits through the post. So hopefully you've got yourself a brew while you watch the event today. And if you have, make sure you share a pic tagging us at UA92 Manchester using our hashtag #ReframeYourReality.
Well, we've got a jam-packed schedule for you to enjoy today. Next up is the UA92 experience session, where you will hear more about the UA92's unique approach, including our AM and PM timetables and our focus on character and personal development. After that, we've got an exclusive interview with our very own Phil Jones, former CNN and BBC broadcaster, and second-year journalism student Bobby Hadcraft.
We'll then share our brand new campus tour video, so you'll be able to get a feel from the comfort of your own homes and see how we're teaching in person with social distancing measures in place, of course. We've then got a live panel session with our amazing students.
And last but not least, we've got our talks on UCAS and student finance. We'll also be talking to our very special wellbeing officer, Steph, about how important wellbeing is here at UA92. If you've got any questions, just drop them in the chat below.
So Abs, you're in your second year now. At UA92, we talk a lot about reframing your reality. How has UA92 helped you reframe your reality, would you say?
UA92 has helped me, like, I can't put it into words, but it's definitely nurtured me and mentored me in a way which I started to believe in myself. I came to UA92 without knowing what to do. I was struggling, and I think I met Steph Petru. Shout out to Steph. I'll be speaking to you later on. She's the wellbeing officer. And I feel like for me, I started to believe in myself. It gave me that resilience. It gave me that oomph. It put that battery in my back and thought, you know what, Abs, you can do it. It has opened many doors for me, from public speaking to being on here today, student ambassador, and to work with industry partners such as I went to KPMG to do public speaking. We've had G-Nev coming in, Gary Neville came in doing talk about Sky. We've had so many endless opportunities, but for me, it was more about finding myself and looking after my well-being, and that's how I reframed my reality.
Thank you. You're in a really inspirational
thanks to you, Izzy.
Okay, well, that's enough from us for now. Let's hand over to Gareth Smith, our Director of Student Affairs, to tell us a little more about the UA92 experience and why an education here is like no other.
Thanks, guys. So, welcome to University Academy 92 and our virtual open day. Obviously, we'd love to welcome you to our state-of-the-art brand new campus, but this is the next best thing. So we're going to talk to you today about all things UA92, the way that we deliver our courses, and all the measures we put in place to keep you safe throughout the COVID pandemic. I'm Gareth Smith. I'm the Director of Student Affairs, which means that I look after the student life cycle. From today, when you're first interested in joining us, hopefully right through to your graduation with us in just over 3 years' time. So the first thing I'd like to talk to you about is the measures we've taken to keep all of our students and our campus safe throughout the COVID pandemic. So we've got social distancing in place. We never had big lecture theatres ever at UA92. It's not the way we choose to teach. But what we've done is gone further still. So a classroom that would have held 30 is now holding 12, or one that would have had 60 people in it is now like 24. So we have 2 meters social distancing in place at all times on campus, which means that once you're sat down in one of our classrooms, you can take your mask off. You don't need to worry about that, keeping everybody safe. We've equally got one-way systems, which means you just follow the flow throughout campus, and you'll see more of that in our campus video. We've got lots of hand sanitizer points. I think there's 19 across campus, and we know that kind of hand hygiene and everything is really important right now. And one of the things you won't see at UA92, be it on a virtual tour or if you physically came here, is you're not going to see a physical library. When you created a university 100 years ago, you designed a kind of one with a university library alongside it with thousands of books. Here at UA92, we thought about it in the digital world. It's not the way people learn or choose to absorb their information anymore, which means all of our resources are online, be it e-journals, videos, e-books, they're all accessible, which means whatever happens, if you're here on campus, you're in our student accommodation, or you're back home with your family, you can access all the resources wherever you are, and you don't need to worry about returning a book that somebody else has just borrowed. We can keep it all safe, secure, and accessible for you wherever you are. So University Academy 92 is a new institution. We opened our doors for the first time in September 2019. We are created by a unique kind of combination of organisations. Lancaster University, an elite, prestigious university, top 10 in all of the university league tables, so the Complete University Guide and the Guardian University League Table. They partnered with the class of 92, Manchester United footballers who are phenomenally successful on the pitch, that resulted in Manchester United winning the treble in 1999, who have gone on to be successful in their careers beyond football, kind of running hotels, businesses, football management, journalism. They partnered together to form University Academy 92 to create a new kind of higher education experience. But we didn't want to just create something where all of our courses were great because we said they were academically great. The key bit that's different about University Academy 92 is we've partnered with leading industry figures to make sure that all of our degrees deliver them the kind of graduates they need at the far side of your 3-year degree or your 1-year certificate in higher education. And I'll talk more about which partners we've worked with later on. All of our degrees are awarded by Lancaster University. So I mentioned a kind of well-regarded university, be it if you're looking for a job in Greater Manchester after you graduate, or you're looking for one kind of right across the world. You know a degree from Lancaster University will be clearly recognised and will really help open those doors for you, whatever you choose to do in the future. So all of our partners are here to shape our degree programmes and make sure they're truly industry-led. So they're involved in the co-design of our programmes, but equally they're involved in the delivery of them practically and of kind of working alongside us to kind of provide guest speakers or internships for you as part of your programme. I'll just highlight a couple of them here now. So Microsoft, they're actually based here in the University Academy 92 building. This is their northern headquarters alongside their kind of London office. They're based here in University Academy 92. And they work with us in a number of different ways. So they've worked with us to shape our computer science degree program to make sure it gives everyone on it the right kind of skills they need to be employed by Microsoft or other leading industry figures out the other side. Equally, they're working with all our students and with all our kind of teaching staff as well to support us around Microsoft Teams. So we haven't designed a virtual learning environment that's just used here at UA92. We've worked with them to become one of the very first higher education institutions to deliver everything through Microsoft Teams, and I'll talk more about that later. They also work with us around our Target Talent Curriculum program. So everybody studying in their modules will work with them to get Microsoft accreditation. When applying for a job, something that's often asked for is, can you use Word? Can you use kind of all of the Office suite, Excel, PowerPoint? And how can you demonstrate that? The reality for me, like many people, is I know how to use these things, but I can't demonstrate it to employers. So we're working with Microsoft to make sure all of our students get that formal certification, which means you'll be recognized by employers when you come to apply for jobs. Equally, we work with KPMG. They work closely with us around our accounting and finance programs, delivering guest kind of lectures to all of our students who have also had the opportunity to go kind of to KPMG and see firsthand what they're working on. But they're also our social mobility partner, working with us to enable us to reach out into kind of communities and people that might not have considered higher education traditionally. So there's lots of ways that University Academy 92 is different, and this is kind of a theme throughout kind of this talk. And that's not that traditional universities necessarily do everything wrong. It's that a lot of the ways they do things, they only do them that way because they've been doing it that same way for hundreds of years in many ways. We started with blank sheets of paper, which means we've shaped our entire kind of academic portfolio and all of our experience around the real needs of employers and what benefits you as students. So a key way this is different is that we focus around your personal development at the core of everything we do alongside your academic studies. What that means is if you're studying our business studies program, yeah, you'll get a great business studies degree, but alongside that, you'll be learning our target talent curriculum, which will give you skills around communication and resilience, which will really give you that kind of head start when entering the job market once you've graduated. Alongside that, all students at University Academy 92 get a personal coach, something you won't see at other universities. What that means is you'll meet with somebody every block, so at least twice every block, typically every 3 weeks, and they're there to support you with your kind of personal development. Not as a kind of personal tutor, but as somebody that can kind of help develop you around all of those skills and be a real kind of source of kind of comfort and support throughout this. In these challenging times, everyone needs that. At University Academy 92, you're very much a name, not a number. We have hundreds of students rather than tens of thousands, and that enables us to be really supportive and provide that right kind of environment for all of our students. So there's a number of other ways that we have a really kind of distinctive approach to the way that we run our higher education offer. You'll only ever study one module at a time in University Academy 92. So at lots of institutions, you'll study 3 or 6 subjects all at once, trying to get your head around all of those different concepts. Whereas with us, it's just that one module at a time. So if you're studying our physical education degree, that first module might be sports psychology, and you just do that sports psychology for that period of time. Just learning all of that with all the assessment contained within that block. So there's no big end of year exams. You know from when you learn something to when you're being assessed on it, there's never more than 6 weeks. It's not at the end of the year, and also it's not at the end of a 3-year degree. You don't have any big finals. But while some of our courses do have exams, the way we do most of our assessment is to make it really practical and based around your subject. So if you're working around sports science, it might be running a coaching session and analysing the outputs that come out of it. For our journalism students, they might be writing an article or filming a media piece. Or for our computer science students, doing a piece of coding. What we try not to do is design exams that aren't fit for the real world. We give you assessment which is absolutely the kind of work you'll need to do when you enter employment. In many universities, the timetable changes from week to week, term to term, or right across your life there while studying. What that means is you can't shape the rest of your life around your studies. It kind of gets dictated to you by the way that the university operates. For us, what we've done is we've got a really fixed, rigid timetable, which means that you can shape the rest of your life around it. It means you know you're going to be able to do that shift in the afternoon if you're a morning student, or you know that you're going to be able to play university sport on a Wednesday because it's always free. So if you study with us, you'll be studying as a morning student, 9 till 1, or as an afternoon student, 2 till 6. And that's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday throughout your time with us. We won't change that. The other benefit of studying one module at a time means we don't require everybody to start in September. In these kind of challenging times, we know that we don't expect people to wait right around until September to study. You can join us when you're ready. So it might be in September, or we equally offer entry points in November or January. And because we study one module at a time, it means whenever you start, you won't be behind. You'll be joining all the students at the start of that block at once. So next up, I'd like to show you a video which will explain this model in a bit more detail. So I mentioned the UA92 timetable was different. So here's kind of a bit more of an explanation of the way that it works in practice. So if you're a morning student, you'll study with us 9 till 1, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. If you're an afternoon student, 2 till 6, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Wednesdays are different. That gives you the opportunity to have a job, you might be volunteering, or you might be playing for one of our university sports teams in the Bucks League. The other benefit of this is it means that because you're in that morning or the afternoon, you know that if you're a morning student, you can always work that afternoon shift in that bar or cafe, or you know if you're an afternoon student, you'll always be able to drop your son or daughter off at school or kind of look after a relative as is required. We keep our timetable fixed so you can shape the rest of your lives around it. The other benefit we've got of this is whatever happens with COVID, we're not changing our timetable. So what we've done is we're going to have 16 hours of teaching, whatever happens. So right now, we're delivering 8 hours of teaching face-to-face on campus and 8 hours over Microsoft Teams. So how does that work? So for a current student, if you're in the morning, you might be on campus on a Monday in one of our classrooms, all socially distanced and safe, on campus with your other students for 4 hours being taught. Then on a Tuesday, you're all online over Microsoft Teams. This isn't us just saying go away and watch a YouTube video or kind of read a book. This is actual proactive teaching with the same tutor you'll have been working with on that Monday being taught for 4 hours over Microsoft Teams. Wednesdays mentioned different. There might be some work for you to do, but you can do it whenever you like. It's not fixed in the timetable. You can do it 7 o'clock in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, or 10 at night. Just make sure that work's done before you come back in on the Thursday. So on the Thursday, back on campus, in your class, working with your tutor and your classmates, and the Friday is all back online. If restrictions ease, and we can bring everybody back onto campus full time, then we'll have 16 hours a week all on campus, but whatever happens, that teaching remains. So if restrictions get tighter, and unfortunately we need to move all online, then we'd still have that, but all of those classes would be delivered over Microsoft Teams. And the same goes for our afternoon students as well. So another unique aspect I mentioned is about the way our academic year is structured, particularly because we do one module at a time. So if you joined us in September, you study that one block for 6 weeks with all of your kind of learning and assessment contained within it. Then a week off, have a break, and then back in to do your next block, completely different kind of subject that you'll be studying for 6 weeks. Then by Christmas, unlike your friends maybe studying at other universities, you won't have any essays to write, you won't be revising for any exams in January because all of your assessment is complete. So by Christmas, you'll have half your university year, 60 credits in the bag, and then you come back in January, another 6-week block, another break, and then your final 6-week block of the year, which means you're all done by April. And then 5 months over the summer to either take a well-earned break or equally the opportunity to kind of maybe get a job with some of our partners. So a number of our students were working as football coaches with Salford City over this summer. And there's lots of opportunities that we work with alongside our partners across all of our different degree programs. The other benefit of this academic year is that you can start at different points. So if you start in November, all that changes, you start there, you'll start with block 2, then block 2, 3, 4, and then rather than the summer break starting in April, you'll then do block 1 there. No disadvantage, you just catch up with all the other students and study the modules in a different order. Equally, if you start in January, you'll start with study block 3, 4, 1, 2. The other benefit of this is that if something bad happens, it's really flexible. So let's say, unfortunately, you got ill for some reason. Let's say that happened in November. In a traditional university, you might lose the whole academic year because you've lost part of 3 or 6 modules. For us, all that would happen is you just don't do study block 2 there. You've done block 1, all in the bag, all secured. You can't study block 2, but you're ready to come back in January. You do block 3, block 4, and then in the summer, you do block 2, which means then you're able to start your second year back on time with all of your classmates, rather than having to resit a whole year that you'd get elsewhere. The other benefit is this timetable is you can see that there are 6 blocks over the year. So for anybody that's keen, you can do an accelerated degree and graduate with us in just 2 years. So rather than studying 4 blocks a year, you do 6 blocks a year. That sounds really intense, and it might not be for everybody, but the reality is that's still only 36 weeks a year of learning, where you get 16 weeks off. Certainly, for those of you that are just coming from school or college, you'll be familiar, is broadly in line with that, so 16 weeks off. And for those from the world of work, certainly I'd love to have 16 weeks off a year. And the real benefits it gives you is it accelerates your career, enables you to enter the workforce after just 2 years rather than traditional 3, whilst equally kind of being a more affordable option in terms of keeping down the student debt. All of our courses are kind of shaped around the demands of our partners, and we know kind of the growth industries. We've not come up with kind of programs that are just there for kind of the sake of kind of academia. We've designed them all to have clear degree outputs and kind of tangible jobs at the other end. So our courses are across 4 broad areas. So business courses, media, sport, and digital. So if I start with digital computer science, digital an absolute growth area here in Greater Manchester and across the globe. I think all of us got a lot more familiar with digital over the past kind of few months since the pandemic started. But equally, sport courses, physical education, gaining those practical skills as a sports scientist or in PE to enable you to be a sports coach, a teacher, a sports scientist at the end of your program. Whilst on our journalism program, one of our newest degree programs is sport journalism, and one of the teachers on that program is Phil Jones. So for anybody who watched London 2012 or any athletics coverage, he's the guy that you'd always seen him kind of interviewing Usain Bolt, Greg Redford, Jess Ennis. That was Phil Jones there. And he's bringing his real kind of practical experience as a sport journalist kind of to work alongside of all of our students to give them, kind of great academic knowledge, but equally those real industry insights in terms of what it's like to work as a professional in those industries for the BBC. And our business students as well, so accounting and finance, working alongside KPMG to embed all of those kind of practical skills alongside your accounting and finance qualifications and exemptions from the AAT and from SEMA as part of your programs. We know that one of the barriers that many people face whilst trying to enter higher education is a financial one, particularly right now as a result of COVID. That's why the class of 92 worked with us to come up with the Kickstart scheme. 92 grants for people from Greater Manchester who have been impacted as a result of the COVID pandemic. £5,000 cash awards that are awarded to people studying on any one of our degree programs. Please do look on our website for all the criteria, or alternatively get in touch with us. We've also got a range of other scholarships or bursaries that will work with you to kind of give you that financial support you need throughout your time studying with us. The key message for you is whenever it is in the year, you can apply to join UA92. Whether you're looking to start in September, November, or January, you can apply now. We consider direct applications, or you can apply through the channel of UCAS. Please look on our website for further details. Equally, if you want to speak to any of our students, we've worked with Unibuddy to create a platform for you to do just that. So you might listen to me talk about how fabulous University Academy 92 is, but you want to hear from our students firsthand. So log on there, you can hear from one of our PE students, Regan, about his experience of studying here, or from Asila, who's on our media and communications course, about what it's like to be a student studying on that program. So please do check out our Unibuddy platform to learn a little bit more from all of our students. Thank you so much for your time today. I'll hand you back across to the studio.
Thanks, Gareth, and welcome back, everyone. Just a reminder, if you have any questions at all, just post them in the chat below. We'll also be taking some questions live at the end too.
Here at UA92, we believe in learning by doing. Our students often get experience with putting into practice what they learn in the classroom. We're really passionate about delivering an education that is inspired by real business needs. This prepares all of our students for the real world of work. And that's why we work with a range of industry partners such as Salford City FC, Microsoft and TalkTalk.
Thanks, Izzy. We also got an in-house expertise, such as our very own amazing journalism tutor, Phil Jones, who is a former broadcaster for the BBC and CNN. Let's go over to Phil and my fellow journalism student, Bobby Hadcraft, for a Q&A now.
Thank you, Izzy and Abs. Right, so I'm here today with CNN and BBC ex-broadcaster and now a very valuable member of the UA92 team, Phil Jones. How are you today, Phil?
I'm great, thanks, Bobby. It's really good to see you.
And you, I haven't seen you since last module.
No, well, we're teaming up again now in slightly different circumstances.
The dream team. Right, yeah. I'm going to get right into these questions. So first of all, what I would like to know is what was the highlight of your career as a journalist?
Well, that's a good one to start off with. There are many. If I had to pick, am I allowed to pick two? Because I find it hard to split them really, because the one working for CNN, getting an opportunity to go and live in America and work out of Atlanta and work for a broadcaster like CNN and do a daily live show. I mean, that's the stuff of dreams. I was working for the BBC at the time and reporting for them, and that was brilliant in and of itself. Doing voiceovers for Match of the Day and things like that. So that was a bit of a dream come true too. But then to take it to another level, so that was magical and had an amazing time. And I loved every minute. And then London 2012, the Super Saturday night would have to be a massive highlight to have Mo Farah, Jess Ennis, Greg Rutherford all win gold medals on that one night, and me be trackside and me be the first person each of them speaks to as they come off the track, with a crowd that just made you go goose pimply at the, every lap of the track that Mo did and Jess did. Oh, it's just incredible. So they're my highlights, yeah.
Well, we're going to go straight from those amazing positives to the negatives now to get them out of the way. And I just wanted to know what your biggest regret was.
Biggest regret? Interestingly, that word is one that I've tried to banish from my vocabulary, really. And yeah, I mean, I suppose as human beings, we can have regrets. It's how you dress them up. And I try and dress mine up in a certain way. And there's a quote I think I used in our class actually, Bobby, from the poet Maya Angelou about, I'll paraphrase what she says basically, I did then what I knew how to do, and when I learned better, I did better. So I like that adage because it kind of makes you think, you never purposely set out to do anything wrong. And so if you have a regret, the implication is you've done something wrong or something, something bad happened and you're responsible for that. And you're regretful about it. Actually, you never set out to do anything wrong, really, if you're a decent human being. And if something does go wrong and it is your fault, then you have to learn from it. So that's why I like that, to kind of move on from, so not regret it. So in terms of regrets in my career, I can't say I have any. I honestly can't say I look back and go, I wish I'd done that. I wish I'd done that. I can't control that. I've got no control over it. So why even bother about it? And if there was something I needed to learn from, that I did. I definitely made mistakes. I made lots of them, but it's learning from your mistakes that's the key.
I completely agree. And as a student, that's something you definitely pick up on, especially in the first year. Being in the second year now, I can pick up from mistakes I made maybe in the first year. And now you've already mentioned some of the big names you've met, Jessica Ennis, Mo Farah. I wanted to know who the single most inspiring individual that you met was during your career.
Well, I've met so many fantastic names, from presidents to, Prince Harry, Bill Clinton was the president in question, Vice President Al Gore, lots of great sporting people. And they're all inspirational in their own way. But actually, I have to go for just a regular guy, really, not famous, just like you and I, who had cancer and beat it. His name's Finley. Cancer came back and he beat it again, and then it came back again. And while he was going through all of this over the period of just a few years, he was involved in things like London Marathons, Great North Runs, and that's where my involvement came in. I got to make pieces with him and interview him at the events. And he would take on a marathon when he was going through his chemo. And he was thinking about other people, raising money for other people. And he was so desperately ill. It was incredible. He was such a fighter. So he sticks in my mind as somebody that was so inspirational. And those times when you're moaning about silly things in life and you think, no, that should never be the case when somebody like Finland's around.
Absolutely. And the next question is that last year you were a guest lecturer on our Introduction to Journalism module, and now you're a permanent staff member here at UA92. So I just wanted to know what encouraged you to make that decision, and what do you enjoy most about your role here?
Yeah, it was a straightforward enough decision for me to make, because I really enjoyed my time working with you guys on that module. I'd already had an introduction to the place. I'd met the people behind the invention of this great academy, this great university. I thought, yeah, I could be involved in that. I'd like to be involved in that. It's just getting an opportunity on a more permanent basis. And when I did, I was happy to take the opportunity. It was a new and quite a steep learning curve for me as well, because obviously this isn't my area of expertise in terms of lecturing or tutoring, but I liked that it was industry led. So I felt that I could help people prepare themselves, help students prepare themselves for the workforce and what was to come. I also liked that the character was at the core of it. So I quite like the idea of trying to help, or not mold people, that's maybe the wrong word, but just trying to steer them down a certain path, seeing something in that person, as I've seen in you, for example, Bobby, and wanting to nurture the talent that's quite evidently there. And now, you're out there in the workforce as well as studying here, and that kind of brings a pride as well. So it's a whole mixture of things, really. So, I don't know if I'm answering your question properly, but it feels like the opportunity was given to me. I was happy to take it. Hopefully I'll continue to be involved here for many years to come.
Well, I can speak for myself and my peers on the journalism module that we're more than happy to have you here. And you say you've watched us grow. You really helped me during that first module to reach out for this opportunity. So I'll just thank you for that now.
Brilliant. That's great to hear.
And just moving on from what you said about the kind of unique approach that UA92 has in terms of moulding students and their character, how do you think this unique approach with the AM/PM timetable as well, which has allowed me to work, studying one module at a time, and the focus on personal development, how do you think it's so relevant for today's students?
Yeah, I just think, you think of all the universities up and down the land, how many university students are leaving uni at the end of a degree course all at once, all looking to get out into the workforce. And many of those students will have a piece of paper that said they've got a degree of whatever level, first, 2-1, 2-2, whatever it may be. And it could come from Oxbridge, it could come from a top 10 university like Lancaster connected here to UA92. It could come from a lesser known one, but everybody's out there armed with something that says they can do a particular thing. They have a knowledge of a particular thing, but that doesn't get you a job automatically. It might open a door. It might pique somebody's interest initially that you're qualified to do something, but actually you need to be developing contacts and trying to create a niche for yourself before you've even left university, I think. And I think it's really, really important, to add to your skill set. I would encourage people, for example, on the journalism course we don't do shorthand here, but learn shorthand, do a course on it, do that. That's handy. If you're then ahead of all those other people who are not doing shorthand on a university course, you're going to get a job and go, actually, I've done shorthand in my spare time as well. I do that. By the way, I also write a blog. By the way, I also do this podcast. By the way, just add all those things. And here, I think you've got all the tools necessary to do that. You can tap into the expertise that I can bring and other tutors can bring as well. And then that gives you the edge when you're leaving this place. Look at what's happened to you, Bobby. You're a prime example. You've already got a job coming from this place, which is brilliant. But you've had to put yourself in that position. You've done the work. You've worked as an ambassador. So it's, we've got a mutual admiration society going on here. But it's true. It's because you've done the work that you've got that job. And it's not just your degree. It's not just doing a degree course that's got you that job. There's so much more that goes into it. Character, how you present yourself, everything that you will learn here at UA92. So I'd actively encourage anybody who's thinking about higher education to really think strongly about coming here.
Well, you did mention the tools that we have on hand as students, and I think one of our biggest assets is the members of staff, such as yourself, and what you have, which some general kind of university lecturers might not have is the industry experience. And I was wondering how you can apply your experience to bring the curriculum alive. And I can, you know, say that you definitely did that for our first module. So how do you think you can give students a taste of the real world of work?
Yeah, it's just really, I think, from my perspective, yeah, you get across the academic side of things. There are certain boxes you have to tick. Obviously, it is a degree, and there are certain areas we have to cover, and that's obviously essential. And that just builds your all-round knowledge of, you know, if you're doing things sound quite dry in the first instance when you're doing things like, as you remember, like the fourth estate and, you know, journalism in a contemporary context and all these kind of things. Actually, that just means modern journalism. And then there are all these other aspects of it, citizen journalism, things you can learn. And in the broadcast journalism side of things as well, there's lots of techniques and things to learn. So they're all essential. But then it comes down to, you know, the brass tacks for me. It's again that working on the individual talent. I see some writing talent, some presenting talent, whatever it may be. I can nurture that and have one-on-one sessions with as many of the students as possible. Even in this climate, I've been able to do that and talk to them, encourage them, give them instant feedback, give them lots of feedback. When I get a written piece from a student, I send the feedback back to them, so they're not getting something en masse. They're getting a very personalized education in effect. And I can point out the pitfalls. I can say, I made these mistakes, don't you make them. Or you're making this mistake too regularly, try and stop that, eradicate this, eradicate that, so you can get it out of your system before you go out into the workforce. And so that's what I can bring my experience to bear, my industry experience to bear, and telling them how, if you present yourself this way in the outside world, in journalism, in broadcasting, then you've got a good chance of succeeding. If you don't, you won't. Because I've been there, I know, I've done it. You've got to trust me on that. And hopefully, with enough of the students, that will sink in. I've already seen it with some of the interviewees we've had in. You know, with people come up to the podium, ask a question of an interviewee, and it might be a big name. We've had Greg Rutherford recently and Denise Lewis, but a couple of students were kind of at the end of asking their question, just like, all right, cheers, thanks. Kind of walked off. Oh, cheers. Yeah. I was like, okay, I mean, that doesn't wash. You can't do that. That person has given up their time. You've been asking them questions. Just say, thank you for your time. Look them in the eye, down the camera lens, and say, thank you very much. That's what you're going to do when you're in the real world. So it's just little things like that as well that all add up to making a person that's far more employable, I think. So hopefully I can help with that kind of thing.
So all of this considered, why should someone consider, like who is considering higher education, study here at UA92?
Well, all of what I've just said and more besides, I just think, you know, in terms of the terrible year everybody's had, and this place has been a kind of a haven really for me and many people, because we've been able to come into the building and it just feels new and vibrant. It's airy, it's spacious. It feels like there's a new approach to education, finally. Like, you know, you'll say never reinvent the wheel, but in this case, yeah, definitely. We're reinventing the university wheel. I love it. So it's felt like when everybody else, you know, in other universities are doing remote learning and it's been a bit of a struggle, we've still been able to come into the building because of all of the above, and because it does feel spacious and airy and new, and so I think that's a massive plus for this place. And even when everybody's back in here, we're all in here full time, you know, it still has that feel. It still has a like we're all in something together. It's something new and exciting that we're moving on with together. And yeah, the learning in blocks is perfect. No exams at the end, perfect. That all feeds into what I would have liked when I was a student. So yeah, hopefully it'll entice many who are watching this.
I can echo what you said there about the community. It'll be nice when we're all on campus, but you just don't feel like a number at UA92, which is something that was massive for me when joining. And just to throw on a final question out there, and it'll get you thinking on your feet, how would you describe UA92 in just 3 words?
Oh, okay. 3 words. Motivating. Inspirational, for definite. Purposeful, I think, would be another one, because it serves a purpose so much more than any other university out there right now. And I know I'm biased, but I think I'm entitled to be, because I've been in and around other universities as well. I've had a chance to work at other universities as well, and I've not, because as one said to me, you won't be teaching people how to be a journalist, you'll be teaching people the theory of how to be a journalist. I went, oh, I don't want to do that. What's the use of that? So we definitely don't do that here. So so they're your 3 words, but I think they could all be under an umbrella of just something that says brilliant or something like that. How about that?
Absolutely perfect, can't fault it. Well, thank you so much for your time today. It's been great to speak to you. And those are all our questions. So have you got any message, just a short message for potential students before we go?
Yeah, I would say come and join our community. I can't speak highly enough of this place. I think it's just going to get bigger and better. So, if you're getting in close to the ground level, like I've done, like Bobby's done, we're kind of at ground zero and building, and you'll see this exciting development of a fantastic place. Come and join us, Bobby.
Can't agree more. Back to the studio with Abs and Izzy.
Thanks, Bobby. That was great, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, and well done, Bobby. Okay, it's time now to take a tour around the UA92 and enjoy the team as they show you around our fantastic campus here in Manchester. And just saying, you may even see a cheeky cameo from me. Joke. And after the video, we'll go straight over to our very own KTC with a live student experience panel. See you all soon.
Hi, I'm Katie.
And I'm Andrew.
And we're part of the student recruitment team here at UA92.
Welcome to Old Trafford, the home of our fantastic campus. Let's take a look around. When you first walk in, you'll find our student help desk, where our students can get support with well-being, social activities, accommodation, or anything else that they might need help with. So now let's head to the digital lab and meet one of our computer science students, Anita.
Hi, my name is Anita Shah. I'm a first year computer science student. As part of our learning, we will be spending a lot of time in the digital lab. In our degree, we will be learning how to make websites, coding, programming, and a lot more.
The team have worked tirelessly to make sure that our campus is safe and secure for all of our staff and students. We've reduced numbers on campus to make sure that all of our students can get 8 hours of in-person teaching every week. We've got a one-way system to move around the campus, and we've got hand sanitizer stations at all points. We have regular in-depth cleaning throughout the day, and in any social areas and teaching spaces, we have designated seating areas so that our students and staff are maintaining social distancing at all times.
Hi, I'm Bobby Hadcraft, and I'm a second-year journalism student here at UA92. This is our media lab. It's full of top-of-the-range cameras, a podcasting studio, and an editing suite in the back. We've used it to create news shows, podcasts, and then edit it all in the back, ready to submit our assignments. It'll also prepare us for the future in industry, where we will use similar equipment. Now let's have a look around with our tutor Lawrence.
Hi, my name's Lawrence Brannan. I'm the course leader for Media, Journalism and Sports Journalism. Media and journalism students need access to top quality digital equipment. And at UA92, we have access to the Media Lab, which is a TV production space, it is an audio production space, and it is an editing and project management space. Students come in here on their different modules when they're working on their assignments, because they might be producing a digital magazine, a television program, or a podcast. and they can use this space with supervision to create their assignments. So that's our media lab, but if you're interested in sports, have a look at our high-spec sports performance hub.
Hi, I'm Daisy and I'm a first year sport and exercise science student. This is the performance hub and this is where we get to put our theory into practice.
Hello everybody and welcome to UA92 Performance Hub. My name is Owen Murray. I'm the tutor here in Sport and Exercise Science. So our Performance Hub at UA92 is very much a multifunctional space. It's a classroom for our students to learn on physiology, biomechanic modules.
Hi, I'm Fleur and I'm the course leader for Business Accounting here at UA92. This area is the deck. We use this area as part of our breakout for our lessons for our students, so rather than just being stuck in a classroom with us, they can actually work on real life tasks. In addition to that, we work with our industry partners such as KPMG and Talk, where they provide insight days and they come in and provide guest lectures for our students to get real life experiences. Because it's not just about being in the classroom and listening to us, it's actually about getting them ready for work and using that real life as part of their studies.
Hi, my name is Amelia and I'm a second year accounting and finance student at UA92. So during my course specifically, we've had a lot of involvement with KPMG. We've had several insight days that we've gone to on their premises, and we've had some guest speakers come in from their company to tell us about their job roles, and it's great finding out different roles that you can go into after you finish university and different career prospects.
Hi everyone, I'm Steph and I'm the Student Wellbeing Officer. Here at UA92, wellbeing is at the core of everything that we do. And as part of the Student Wellbeing Service, you can access one-to-one appointments with me. We have a range of wellbeing activities, which include yoga, mindfulness and fitness sessions. And we also have our inclusive support service. So if you have a long-term health condition, mental health condition, disability, or a specific learning difficulty like dyslexia, there's loads of support that we can help you to access.
The Wellbeing Centre is absolutely amazing. If you're a first-time student coming to Manchester or coming to uni, it has all the things that you may need if you're worrying about if you're homesick, if you've got financial hardship, if you're struggling with your mental health. There's always something there in the Wellbeing Centre, which is great.
Now I'm going to hand over to John, who's one of our second year students.
Hiya, I'm John and I'm a sport and exercise science student at UA92. I'm outside our campus today on this lovely day, and it's in a brilliant location right next to the tram stop, which is about a 10-minute journey to town, to Media City. You can go to the Trafford Centre, so many great places that you can go via the tram. And also, we're just over the road from Academy Apartments, which is a stone's throw away.
Thank you for joining us today to have a look around our incredible facilities here in Old Trafford, Manchester.
We look forward to seeing you soon, whether it's online or on campus at one of our open days. You can also drop us an email at hello@ua92.ac.uk.
See you soon.
Bye.
Hi everyone, I'm Katie and I'm one of the student recruitment officers here at UA92. So for the next kind of 20 minutes, we'll be speaking with our brilliant student ambassadors. So if you guys could start to turn your cameras on, I'll introduce you as we go. Just to remind the lovely people at home watching us, hopefully with a second cup of tea or another hot chocolate, then you can ask any questions to our student ambassadors in the chat box below or in the Q&A function as well. So can Beth, could you turn your camera on, Daisy and Hummer as well, please? Excellent, thank you. And because Luckman was kind of first to the post, Luckman, would you like to start to introduce yourself? So obviously I've said your name, but could you tell me what year you're in and what course you're studying, please?
All right, so I'm Luckman. I studied computer science. I'm in my first year.
Excellent, thank you. And Daisy, to you, please.
I'm Daisy. I'm a sport and exercise science student in my first year.
Perfect, thank you. And on to Hummer.
Hi, my name is Huma and I'm second year business studies.
Thank you. And on to Beth.
Hiya, I'm Beth and I'm a second year media and communication student.
Perfect. Thank you so much, guys. So yeah, as I said previously, if you can think of any other questions that you'd like to ask our students, then please pop them in the chat box below. But in the meantime, I've thought of a few questions, and I tend to get these types of questions when I'm traveling around the country, during kind of non-COVID times or doing virtual events as well. So I thought I would kind of start with these ones, and if you think of any further, just pop them in the chat. So going to you first, Beth, if that's okay, could you talk to me about why you chose to join us at UA92? Like, what was your path here?
So I chose UA92 because although you're obviously getting a degree, they also really focus on personal development, which was something that really stood out to me when I was looking for universities. So at UA92, they've really helped sort of build your confidence and communication skills. And that's something really good because I'm a media communication student, it's something that I need for industry work after I leave.
Perfect. Thanks, Beth. And the same question to you, Daisy, if that's okay. So I know you had a bit of a rocky ride to kind of higher education. Would you like to speak about that?
Yeah, so I struggle quite badly with my mental health, and I didn't actually think I'd be able to go to university as I missed 2 months of my final year in college due to me being in and out of the doctors and in and out of hospital with my mental health issues. And when I came to an open day, it was very apparent that UA92 and the teachers there and the other students that were there really genuinely cared about your well-being. And Steph, the wellbeing officer, is absolutely amazing. And you could just tell that you were cared for straight away, and everyone really cared about what was going on in your life and what for me, it was the sports I did. Everyone was really interested in what I did and made me feel like they wanted to know more about me than just wanted me to come to the university.
That's great to hear. Thank you, Daisy. Thanks for sharing that. And coming on to you, Hummer, if that's okay. So you're in your second year of your degree course. Would you like to tell me about how your first year went? Because I know when I started in March and you were still quite a shy student. So you're one of our brilliant student ambassadors and you are now so confident, so loud. And so how did your first year of the degree kind of affect getting your confidence up?
I think it was amazing the first year, especially we had few inside days to KPMG as well. So we could potentially hear from their staff members, different roles we could go into. And along with that, we had opportunities as well, such as a student ambassador, which was to enhance our communication skills and other teamwork, so it was really, really amazing for me.
Oh, that's great to hear. Thank you, Hummer. And going on to you, Luckman. So you've started in your first year this September. So you were in the first part of our computer science cohort. And how's your first block gone? Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. The way that they taught it was so that if you didn't actually do computer science, you could actually do the degree without having any prior knowledge. And if you did have prior knowledge, like I did my A-levels in computer science, you could actually get challenged, but it wasn't too easy and wasn't too hard at the same time. So it's built quite well.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you, Luckman. Okay, so going on to that, actually, that kind of leads me quite nicely into the next question. So the next question I'd like to ask Beth, if that's okay, we'll probably keep going around in a circle, is what's the best thing about studying at UA92? So obviously you study our media communications course. Oh, Beth, you're on mute.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Because it's a small campus, everyone knows everyone. So the community, it's a good you have good relationships with everyone on campus. So it's just a really nice place to be. And then You just have lots of links to industry. There's lots of good opportunities that come with studying at UA92. So with media, we went to ITV and we actually got to see the news go live. So you get to full on experience in the industry and see how things happen. Instead of just speaking about it, you actually get to experience it.
Yeah, that's great to hear. And actually, Beth, can I ask you another question? So we've had a question in the chat from Olivia, and she said, and I know that you are originally from Bristol, is that correct?
No, Shropshire.
Shropshire. Down south somewhere. So what can you do socially at the uni and outside? So Olivia is looking at applying, but she lives in Brighton, and she's asking, has it been easy to make friends, and what can you do socially at the university?
So the university, at the end of every block, they always put an event on. So there's been quiz nights and film nights and things like that. But moving to university, obviously it is a bit daunting at first, but you fit in, everyone's in the exact same position. With UA92, because it's a new institution, there's quite a lot of people from the Manchester area. A lot of people knew each other, but there are a lot of people that have also moved away from home. So everyone's in the same position. Everyone's really welcoming, and it's just a nice experience. Like, it's not scary at all.
Yeah, definitely. And I can see Daisy nodding her head. Would you like to add anything to Beth's point?
Yeah, so I'm not originally from, well, I am originally from Manchester, but I've lived in Derbyshire for like 12 years now. So I was moving away from all my friends and everyone that I knew. And on the first day, I made two good friends. One of them's from London and one of them's from Birmingham. And they're now like my best friends. And that was just the first day. We just clicked straight away. And everyone really, because it's such small sizes in the classes, everyone really makes an effort with each other. You never really feel left out of anything. And the teachers always make sure that the lecturers always make sure that you know each other really well. We've done loads of exercises in class to make sure that we've like got to know each other really well, so we feel comfortable with everyone that's in our class. So I found it really easy to merge with everyone in uni.
Perfect. Thanks for that, Daisy. And I've spoken with some students that have been really worried and felt maybe a little bit homesick, or just worried about moving away, because it's a big thing to do, and we completely understand. So we have a really great support service in our brilliant wellbeing officer Steph, who's always there to support you. But like Beth and Daisy have said, we try and get everyone to gel as much as we can. So thank you, girls, for that. Hopefully that answers your question, Olivia. But that actually moves me on. To another question that you've asked. So what is your favourite thing about Manchester, and what do you tend to do during non-COVID time? So Hummer, am I okay to come to you first? Like, what's your favourite thing to do in Manchester?
There's a lot of things. There's cinema that I can go to or shopping centres, good restaurants. So there's pretty much everything that you can go to in Manchester. So whenever I get time up before COVID, I used to go cinema, shopping, or restaurant with my friends.
Yeah, it's so good. There's always something to do in Manchester, no matter what. So I'm not originally from Manchester, but I fell in love with it very quickly, because there's always a buzz about it, isn't there? Beth, what's your favourite thing to do in Manchester?
Junkyard golf was quite a popular one before COVID, because it's got in the week it's student as well, so it's so cheap. And it is good. It's cheap and cheerful.
That's what you need. You've got to always look for those student discounts. Lookman, what's your favourite thing to do in Manchester? You are a native Mancunian, aren't you? But you'll have something that you love in Manchester.
There's go-karting. That's quite good.
There we go. Go-karting is the best thing to do in Manchester. I'd say the Northern Quarter, or even where we're based in Trafford. We're about 5 to 10 minutes away from the city centre, so it's really close by. Okay, thank you so much for that, guys. Okay, so actually we've touched upon COVID, maybe there's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, and we can see what it's going to be like next year. But I was just wondering how you found COVID has impacted you and your studies. Now, I'm okay to come to you, Daisy, first.
Let me turn myself off mute first. Yeah. So to be completely honest, COVID hasn't really impacted my studies that much because of the timetable. The only thing that's different is obviously I'm studying I study every morning, and on a Tuesday and a Friday I'm online. That's the only thing that I've found different. Because the UA92 has small class sizes anyway, that would never have really changed. Obviously, it's quite difficult doing a sports degree, which is quite hands-on, especially trying to learn about the anatomy and things. It's been quite difficult, but even with our assessments, we all just wear masks, sanitize after we've done everything, and it's not really impacted my degree in like a negative way, to be honest.
Yeah, and obviously you've not got anything to kind of specifically compare it to as a first year. This is kind of the normal for you, but going to you, Hummer, if that's okay, how's it been going from a non-COVID first year to a kind of COVID second year? How have you found the difference?
I think there were positive and bad sides as well. So for example, the bad could be sometimes online, you can get distracted, or you can get technical issues or something. But the positive thing is that if you're unwell or you're not feeling well, you still can attend the lesson through Teams. So you're not missing any lesson. If the whole other class is on campus, you still get online and take that lesson as well. So that also, as Daisy said, there's like small numbers, so you can get engaged with everyone even online or in campus. So it hasn't impacted much, but yeah, there is a little bit slightly changes in our studies.
Thank you, Hummer. And moving on from kind of COVID, and so my next question is yay, COVID's finished. What are you most excited to do once lockdown and kind of the tier system is over? Am I okay to come to you first, Lukman?
Yeah, sorry about that. So I'd say it's probably meeting up with my friends, because I have quite a lot of friends in Manchester. So you can go out to eat and stuff like that, and wherever you want to actually go before COVID came, you could actually do it. So it's like our first year was ruined, wasn't it? So it's like kind of make up for that.
Make up for lost time.
Yeah,
definitely. Beth, and coming to you, so what's your, apart from junkyard golf, what's the first thing that you're going to do after lockdown?
Probably see my friends as well. So obviously Asila's still in Malaysia, so hopefully she'll be back and living with me and Millie, which will be exciting. So yeah, just spend time with my friends and catching up for lost time as well.
Yeah, that's great. Okay. And actually, Beth, do you live in Manchester apartments?
I live in West Point, yeah, which is Manchester apartments as well. So I lived in, first year I lived here as well in a medium studio apartment. But this year I actually live in a 3-bed with Millie and Asila, who also do medium communications.
Thank you for that, because Olivia's just asked what the accommodation is opposite the university is like. So do you enjoy it? Obviously there's kind of different size rooms, and you've gone from a studio to a 3-bed with your friends.
Yes, so Manchester apartments, it's really good. It's obviously it's so much nicer than a lot of university accommodation. It's not grotty at all. It's so nice and it's clean. Yeah, so with university, the academy apartment, sorry, that's right opposite uni. So that's near a tram line into town, and you're just close to everything. It's closer to Aldi as well there. So yeah, that's right in the middle of everything.
Yeah. And the academy apartments and West Point aren't like typical kind of halls that you would expect at like a higher education institution. They tend to be, they're kind of geared towards professionals and students. So there isn't a kind of shared kitchen or shared living space. You have your own kind of separate apartment or flat, like studio with kitchen, with your bed in, with your bathroom and that type of thing, or like Beth's doing with her friends, 2 friends on media and communications. Of course, you can get a 3-bed flat. So there are those 2 kind of different options. So hopefully that's answered your question, Olivia, but there is loads and loads of information online, and I'm sure Andrew has sent you some videos and some resources there. Okay, so actually going back to you, Beth, again, I'm sorry, but we have, well, you and Millie have actually been working on a really exciting opportunity. So my question is, what type of exciting things have you been up to this block?
So me and Millie have actually just created our own podcast, which is on Spotify now. So that's such a good feeling, saying we have like a podcast on Spotify, which is leading to other opportunities. So on Friday, we actually have a lecture from someone on Spotify about everything to podcasts. And I've also been in contact with Salford City Radio, to volunteer on there as well. So there's just so many opportunities at UA92. Like one thing leads to another. So yeah, our podcast, make sure you listen to that.
Yeah, what's it called? You need to do a plug.
That's with UA92 Insider.
That's it, yeah, and it's on Spotify. You can catch it there. So Beth and Millie created their podcast in our own podcasting studio at UA92, and so that's how you did that. And you've had like support from our media and communications tutors, and it's a really great listen. So I'd highly recommend it. Daisy, coming to you, what exciting things have you been up to in this block?
Well, I've done a lot of like promotional things for the university, which I never ever saw myself being involved in. With like my anxiety and things, I didn't think I'd ever kind of have the confidence to do things like that. But obviously I've been involved in quite a lot. Like I presented one of the last open days that we had, and also like with being in uni, I've been really supported with my job as well. And because I'm a carer, I found that like all my tutors and everyone that I'm around is really like, they make sure I'm looked after and make sure that I can still do my job whilst being in uni, which is something that like I never really thought would happen. I thought it was something I'd have to give up whilst going to uni. So that's really opened my eyes to a lot, because I've learned a lot whilst being in uni and being in the working world at the same time. So that's probably the most interesting thing, is managing uni and being so supported by my uni whilst being in work at the same time.
Yeah. So, and with that, so especially because the AM PM structure, so has that worked for you well in the sense of managing your kind of carer responsibilities and being a student?
It couldn't have actually worked any better. So as by working as a carer, generally you have a split shift throughout the day. So you'll have a morning shift, which is like 6 a.m. till 1 p.m. and then you'll have an afternoon and evening shift, which is like 2 p.m. till 10 p.m. So with me being a morning student, obviously I just do all my studies in the morning, then head straight from uni to work, and then do my work for the day, and then it's just like a full day of working. So it's quite intense, but with obviously having Wednesdays off as well, just the whole timetable has made sure that I can literally have a life outside of university and still be able to work, earn my own money and live in a nice apartment at Manchester Apartments. So
that's great to hear. Thank you, Daisy. So final question. I think that's all we really have time for, but a final question. So the students that will be watching today will be kind of might be working on their personal statements and their UCAS. And Luckman and Daisy, you're probably closer and remember the time of that stress, that kind of nervousness of sending your UCAS application off and the late nights writing your personal statement. So I was just wondering, do you have any top tips for the students finishing their UCAS and personal statement? Coming to you, Luckman, first. You unmuted yourself like you knew.
So it's not all about quantity, it's about quality. And make sure you get in the key things that are relevant to what your course is actually related to. So for me, it was work experience in a computer science related sector. So that's probably one of the main things you need to add, basically.
Yeah, definitely. And you own your own kind of business, don't you? So did you include that in your personal statement?
Yes, yeah. So I put that on my personal statement. I think that's one of the things that got me all my places in university.
Definitely.
All five offers, yeah.
Brilliant, well done. And coming to you, Beth, if that's okay, one top tip to students that may be worried about joining university, because I know you were a little bit worried.
Don't worry, there's nothing to worry about, basically. Just go with your gut feeling, you'll know what's right. And it's just an opportunity that you wouldn't want to miss, really.
Yeah. Thanks, Beth. Daisy, coming to you, you'll be able to remember your personal statement and your UCAS stress. Any top tips for our students?
I'd just say include the most unusual facts about yourself. So what's different, what actually makes you different to other people. So many people have done Duke of Edinburgh. So you've got to pick out the things that make you different, that make you stand out. And I definitely reach out to UA92, because I know that they help people like with writing their personal statements. So if you're really struggling, honestly, my biggest advice is just reach out to UA92 and they'll help you.
Yeah, definitely. Me and my colleague Andrew and Rachel will be more than happy to support you in writing your personal statement for UA92. And Hummer, finally for you, what top piece of advice would you give to students starting at UA92 or at university next September?
I would say stay positive and ask for help if you need it. Just stay behind or vulnerable. Just ask anything you need help with, because everybody at UA92 will be more than happy to help you out.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you so much, guys. You've been absolutely brilliant. And thank you so much for answering all the questions that we've got through the chat, and also the questions that I've asked as well. So thank you guys for joining, and back to you, Abs and Izzy. Bye.
Hey, welcome back everyone. It was great to hear from some of my fellow students and KTC just now.
Abs, this is our last open day of the year. Can you believe it?
Oh, I can't believe it. I know, it's been great. I hope everybody's enjoying it too, because we're loving it.
As it's our last open day, I thought it'd be good to have a look back at our past 2 events with our co-founders, Phil and Gary Neville, and hear why they decided to start UA92 and their journey so far. After that, we'll go straight over to Josh for all things UCAS and student finance. Let's take a look.
Hi guys, I'm Jake and I'm here with the current manager of the England women's football team, Phil Neville.
I'm now delighted to welcome UA92 co-founder, businessman, media pundit and Manchester United legend, Gary Neville. Hi Gary, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Let's jump straight in. So why did you and the rest of the class of 92 originally start the University Academy of 92?
Well, I think it was a progressive thing, really. We obviously got involved. We bought a hotel just around the corner. We wanted to be, obviously that's an area where we grew up. So we started to think about what we're going to be doing for the next 20 to 30 years after our playing careers. And we're all in employment now, but obviously employment sometimes changes. So we bought the hotel, then we bought Salford City Football Club, and that was two brilliant ventures that we went into. And then we started to think about the things that happened to us when we were younger, people being given opportunities, real good experiences and opportunities for younger people, doing it in a way that we wanted to do it.
What inspired the initial idea for University Academy 92?
It came out of when we finished our football careers and we decided that we wanted to, one, do things together, because obviously we've become so close during our football careers, the past 92. And we decided that also we wanted to try and impact as many people as we possibly could do with the things that had served us well during our career. The idea that skill and talent is important, but I believe everybody has a level of skill and talent in them. But really the hard work, the sort of characteristics that go to make the all-round individual, and that those things could be taught and learned and worked on. And we felt the best way to do that wasn't through a football club, even though we took over a football club, but we can only impact so many players within our football club. We thought it was right to link to academia. You've got to have 2 or 3 branches to what you're doing, because ultimately life doesn't always take you in a straight road. There are curved roads, there are curved balls, there are dead ends, and you've got to make sure that you prepare for every eventuality.
What is your #1 piece of advice to someone aspiring to achieve their dream career?
Work as hard as you possibly can and beyond every single day. Always do more than you're asked to do. If you're asked to train 2 times a day, train 3 times a day. If you're asked to work 2 hours a day, work 3 hours a day. And it's incredible actually that if you work harder than everybody else next to you, if you just work an extra 4 or 5 hours a week, and you think about that in a month, and then you think about that in a year, the separation that then starts to occur from the person that you're actually competing with to be good at something is incredible. So work ethic is absolutely key.
Hi everyone, so thank you to Katie and our students, and I hope you enjoyed that clip of Phil and Gary talking about UA92. My name's Josh. I am here today to talk to you a little bit about how to apply to UA92 for 2021 and how to go through your student finance application. So we're going to start with how to apply to UA92. So there are 2 ways that you can apply to UA92. So there is the direct application and there is a UCAS application. So briefly on direct applications, you can apply directly to UA92 if you already have all of your qualifications already. So you've got your certificates, you've done your exams, you've got your transcripts, you've got everything done. Also, if you're applying direct, it's a simple one university application. It's applying directly to us, so you can't have a live UCAS application or anything like that in the system. A direct application still requires a personal statement. It still requires all the evidence of your qualifications. So evidence should be things like scans or photocopies or photographs of your certificates that we will require, obviously in terms of evidence, and that gets sent over to us along with your completed application form. If you're interested in a direct application, or you want to know a little bit more about it, or if you think a direct application might be something that might work for you, let us know in the chat, use our socials, give us a shout, and we can get an application form out to you. The other way to apply to UA92 is, of course, through UCAS. So all our courses are eligible for both direct and UCAS. And UCAS, for those of you that don't know, is the University and Colleges Admissions System Service. Sorry, I should know. It's an online system used by predominantly school and college leavers to apply to university, but it is important to remember that anybody can use UCAS. It's not solely for school or college leavers. So you can apply for up to 5 universities on UCAS, so between 1 and 5. So if you want to hedge your bets and apply to different universities, or you can, if you wanted to, apply to the same university 5 times or a mix thereof. So it's entirely up to you how you make up those 5. There's a cost to use an UCAS. So if you're applying for one course, it is £20 at one university, or if you're going to make your 5 choices, up to 5 choices, it is £25. So what goes into your UCAS application? I'm sure you guys are already all over this, but it's the same as the direct application form, but it's in things like your personal details, your education history, your predicted grades for the qualifications that you're currently working on, obviously the courses and universities that you want to apply for. You then put in any sort of work experience and professional experience that you have. And then, as Katie mentioned before, and a few other people have mentioned as well, your personal statement, that's a big part of it. And then your reference. Often a reference will come from an academic tutor or a teacher or something like that. If you're not in the school or college system, you can get a reference from a professional reference or a personal reference or something like that. Either of those is absolutely fine. So if you're applying directly to UA92, like I said, those things still go into your application. So all of those parts of the application form are there. It's just a direct application that goes straight to us at UA92. Like I said, if you think that a direct application might be the way you want to go, just let us know, speak to a member of the team, use the chat, anything like that, and we will we'll be more than happy to get an application form out to you. So applying via UCAS, like we said, that's how that works. What we're going to talk about now are some important UCAS dates. So these 4 dates on the screen are probably the key dates that you want to focus on if you are applying via UCAS. What I will quickly say is if you're applying directly, these dates don't apply to you if you're applying directly. So you can apply directly from now all the way up to sort of just before the course is going to start. These 4 dates, however, are key if you are interested in applying through UCAS. So first one, 15th of January, about sort of 5 or 6 weeks off at the moment, which is frightening, but we're nearly there. So the 15th of January is what is called the equal consideration deadline. So it's often referred to as the main UCAS deadline. So yes, it is an important deadline. What it means is that every course that is applied for, every application that is received by every university by that date has to be considered equally. So obviously the academic parts within that, but the applications that are received by that date have got to be considered equally by each university. After that point, universities can then prioritise the ones that came in before that deadline. But you get it in before then, and that's fine. But don't worry, if you don't get it in by that 15th of January, it's not a problem. It's not what often is thought of as if you miss that deadline, that's it. Not a problem whatsoever. 11th of February 2021, so a couple of weeks or so after that, is when UCAS Extra opens. So UCAS Extra is for people who have used all 5 of their choices by that 15th of January deadline and either didn't receive any offers, or they want to add a new choice, or you've changed your mind and you want to add a completely new course at a completely new university. And you can apply for 1 course at a time through UCAS Extra. The important thing to remember to use UCAS Extra is that you can't be holding any offers through UCAS already. So that's the one to remember for UCAS Extra. The next date you can see there is the 30th of June. So a few months after that, we've got the 30th of June. So 30th of June is the point where any applications for the 2021 cycle received after this point are automatically entered into clearing. So again, it's important to remember throughout this whole cycle, you can still apply at any point through UCAS. It's absolutely fine to do so. So don't worry if you miss one of these deadlines, there's the next one and the next one and the next one and so on. So get your applications in. So we said that obviously from the 13th of June, applications after that go into clearing, and the 5th of July 2021 is when clearing opens. So clearing is for people who either didn't receive any offers, or you received offers and you think, actually, I don't want to accept any of those. You didn't meet the conditions of some offers maybe, or you've declined your firm place and you want to change your mind or something like that. So clearing is for those people. Clearing isn't this mad panic that everybody thinks it is, and a mad rush and things like that. You need to stay calm, get your results from your school or your college, give us a call, and we'll happily take you through the whole process, right from your application all the way through to hopefully joining us in September or November or January. So those are the important UCAS dates that you need to sort of keep tabs on. So that's it for UCAS. So I know we've done a really quick whistle-stop tour on UCAS there. And again, what I would do is encourage people to get in touch, use the chat function here. If you go away and think about it and go, actually, I've got a question I want to ask, just get in touch. We're all more than happy to help. We'd love to be able to help you out. As the students said before, one of the things they found really useful and a top tip for applying to UA92 was the help that we can give. We are here to help you. So give us a shout if you have any questions whatsoever. So we're going to move on now to student finance. So before we start, I just wanted to put a little question out to anybody who is taking part as a bit of a poll. So if we can have the question on screen. So what I want to know is, how much do you know about student finance? So just let me know by selecting one of the following. So would you say you're an expert? Would you say you've got a pretty good grasp? Would you say you know a few of the ins and outs? Do you not know that much at all? Or do you not really have a clue and you think a student what? Don't worry, whichever one of those it is, just click the one that most applies to you, and that'll give us a good idea of the level of information that we can give you now. And again, don't worry if you're not that sure on things, because that's what we're here for. We're here to give you all the information that you need. So you click whichever one best fits to you, and then we'll take a look at those. So I've got some answers coming in. So the majority, I'm looking at the results on here, the majority have come in for not that much at all. We've got a few people who know a few ins and outs. Got one person who says they're an expert, so you can switch off the next 5 minutes, which is great. But the majority look like they've gone for not much at all. So that's good to know. So don't worry, that big group there, I'm here to hopefully explain it in a little bit of detail for you. And again, as I keep saying, give us a call, get in touch if you've got any specific questions. So we're going to move on then to student finance. So what do you need to pay for at university? So your biggest three outgoings at university are obviously going to be your tuition fees, your accommodation, and your living costs. So those are the big three, really. Those are the three things that every student, regardless of what course or what status, is going to need to pay for. So the cost of a UK or EU degree at UA92 is £9,000 per year. So that's for a full-time 3-year academic degree. If you're interested in the accelerated courses or the part-time courses or anything like that, just let us know and we can provide you with that information as well. So most students tend to take out a loan to cover this. Obviously, this is your student loan. And this loan to cover your course fees is paid directly from the student loans company to UA92. So you don't need to worry about having £9,000 in your bank account or £18,000 or £27,000 in your bank account or anything like that. That's quite a misconception, really. So you don't need to worry about that. The loan goes from the SLC, the student loans company, to the university, just with your name on it, basically. So that goes directly to us. I did say, obviously, that EU fees are the same at £9,000. As of July 2021, those are going to go up to meet the international fees. So that'll be the same as the international fees at £13,770 per year. So that's obviously something to take into consideration. If you are an EU student and you start on the £9,000 fees, your fees will not jump up, though. So if you start on the fee, you'll continue to pay that same fee throughout your studies with us. So what we all want to know is how you apply for student finance. So it is a bit of a convoluted process. So what I would say firstly is give yourself plenty of time to apply for student finance. And what I mean by that is not just give yourself an hour to do it, give yourself a good few months well in advance, and you'll be able to get it all sorted. So not to worry. So the first thing to point out as well is you can start applying for your student finance. It opens around sort of January, February time. They'll announce the exact date, but you can start your finance application without having had your place confirmed. You can then always change the course or change the university. So it's probably worth just getting a few bits together and having a look. So you apply online using the Student Finance England website. So that's gov.uk/student finance. And you don't need to wait for your grades or your results to apply, like I just said. So your tuition fee loan usually will cover your entire course fee amount. There might be the odd case where that doesn't happen, say if you've already studied at some university level or something like that. But again, just let us know if you think that might affect you. So eligible students can also apply for a maintenance loan, again through student finance, and that is up to £9,203 or £7,747 if you are living at home. That is what you, and that's per year obviously, and that is what people use to put towards their accommodation and their living costs and things like that. So those repayments of the maintenance loan work in the same way, and we'll go on to repayments shortly, work in the same way as your tuition fee loan, and they actually combine together into one sum, and there's only one set of repayments. You're not paying back your tuition fee and your maintenance one separately, all rolls into one. The maintenance loan is what is called means tested. So means tested means that it's based on evidence that you submit to the student loans company. So how much you get will be determined by the evidence that you submit there. So Olivia, I've just seen your question come in there. That is part of the evidence that you would submit, yes. So not entirely based on parental income or household income, but that is part of it that you will submit. So they'll ask for all this various evidence. That's why I said just get on with the application probably as soon as you can, just so you've got a rough idea of the evidence that they'll need, and it gives you plenty of time to then get it all together. But yeah, you're absolutely spot on. It does form part of the evidence. So if you wanted to get a rough idea before starting an application, you can do. They have a student finance calculator on their website. As a disclaimer, it's not an exact amount it will provide on the calculator. It will just give you sort of ballpark figure based on the rough figures you can put in. To get an exact figure, obviously, start the application, get in touch with the student loans company, and they'll be able to do that with you. So your maintenance loan is paid to you in 3 installments throughout the academic year. So what I would recommend is if you are not necessarily the best at budgeting or you need a bit of help with the budgeting of that, get in touch with our wellbeing team. Obviously, you've heard Steph talks about a lot. Steph will be able to provide loads of great information. We've got really good financial assistance partners who are there to be able to help you with budgeting and things like that to make you manage your money throughout the academic year, because you get 3 payments of your maintenance loan throughout the year. So we're going to move on now to what paying back your loan looks like. So repayments are made automatically through the tax system, and payments will start once you start earning over the threshold during any given pay year. So what happens is there is a pay threshold that the student loans company set out, and based on how much you earn beyond that threshold determines how much you will pay back. So the amount you'll pay back is 9% of the income that you earn over the repayment threshold, and that repayment threshold is £2,214 a month, and that's before tax and any other deductions. So that means you're not actually going to start paying anything back until you're earning more than £26,568 per year. So you'll start repaying once you're earning above that, and you'll be repaying 9% of what you earn above that amount, not 9% of your overall salary or anything like that, 9% of what you earn over that threshold. And you'll start repaying your loan whether you're an employee, whether you're self-employed, or whether you're overseas. And you'll start paying back your loan from the 6th of April the following year after you have graduated. So to hopefully put that into a bit of context for you, we've got I've got an example here I can give you. So say you were earning £30,000 per year. So this is all pre-tax. So say you're earning 30 grand a year. So that's £2,500 per month before tax and any other deductions. You'd repay 9% of £356 because £2,500 a month is £356 above the £2,214 a month, and you would pay 9% of that £356 a month over the threshold back, which is about £32 a month. So you can see how it works. You're not paying 9% back of your overall salary. You're only paying 9% of the amount over that threshold. The best thing about that is that it is automatically taken out through the tax system, as I said. So you don't need to set up those repayments or anything like that. It automatically goes out, just like your national insurance and your income tax and things like that. So it's not something that you need to worry about. I know I've rattled through a lot of information very quickly there. So what I would say is try and take that all in. Please, please, please get in touch with us if you've got any questions whatsoever, and we'd be more than happy to help you. If you haven't got any questions now, that's absolutely fine. Like I said, let us know afterwards. If you have got any questions, use the chat function there, use our socials, anything like that, and we'd be more than happy to answer those for you. So that's it from me. I know that's a lot of information for you to take in, but hopefully, I really hope it's been helpful for you. I'm now going to show you a short video on our accommodation offers before handing back to Izzy and Ab in the studio. So that's it from me. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening and have a look at the accommodation we can offer.
Hey, Steph, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
All right, Steph, imagine I was in the studio, now I'm here interviewing you.
You're doing so well, you're fab.
Oh, thank you, Steph. So, Steph, I've mentioned the well-being all the time at UA92 about advocate for well-being. So you're the student well-being officer. Why is student well-being so important at UA92?
Well, I would say it is literally at the core of everything that we do. I think student wellbeing is the most important thing and always should be the most important thing. Like Bobby was saying, you know, we don't want students to feel anonymous or just like a number. We know them personally, and we want to make sure that they're okay. So it's something that was a priority right from the very beginnings. Before we even launched, we wanted to make sure that health and wellbeing was incorporated into the curriculum. So you've got a health and wellbeing week where students will learn for a whole week. You've gone through it, Abs, haven't you, where you would learn all about health and wellbeing and how to look after yourself and how to stay well, which has obviously helped you kind of get through this recent time. But also we've mental health is really important to us as an organisation, so we're making sure that we're training all of our staff in mental health, so that it's sort of an institutional approach rather than only being the responsibility of the wellbeing service. It's something that's really important to us.
Steph, I 100% agree, and I can't just thank the wellbeing service enough. You mentioned how you have a health and wellbeing week, which I definitely benefited from. I had Michelle Partington, who was absolutely great. And I think you, Steph, you've taught me loads of different skills. And it's great you mentioned the wellbeing service, but what support can students receive throughout this service?
Well, it's anything wellbeing related, really. So all students can access the service. They can book a one-to-one appointment and they can come and see us about anything. So if people are struggling in terms of mental health or just how they're doing generally, they can access the service. If they need any help accessing NHS services, we can help with that. Josh just touched on the fact that we've got the financial support, so money advice team that are great and arrange one-to-one appointments with students. We've got wellbeing activities like yoga and fitness sessions. We have workshops. We just had a recent one called Coping Through COVID. So anything wellbeing related, anyone can access the service, and we would support them to access anything that they need.
Great, I absolutely love it. And Steph, you have the inclusive support service, part of the wellbeing, and I want to touch on this before you go into. I have definitely can't recommend it enough. I suffer with anxiety, ADHD, and dyslexia, and without having the inclusive support service, without you helping me, guiding me, I would have struggled at UA92. How can other students access the wellbeing inclusive support service, and how can they hear about it?
Wow, you're so kind, Az. I think that a lot of it has got to do with you. But the inclusive support service is basically available to anyone who has a disability, a long-term health condition, mental health condition, specific learning difficulty like dyslexia, anything that would cause anyone to have just a few additional needs or need a bit of extra support. They can access the service, and there is loads of support that we can offer them. So we can put together a support plan at UA92 for them. We can also help them to access disabled students allowances, which is something that I would actually advise any potential students who have any of those conditions to start applying for now, but we can help with that. And also we've got a free screening service, so for our students who think that they might have a specific learning difficulty like dyslexia, we can offer them a free screening and think about referring them to an educational psychologist.
Absolutely great. And Steph, we know at the moment making sure we're keeping well is really important. I've had a lot of tips from you, a lot of support from you during lockdown. You've supported me via Teams, and just speaking to someone, it genuinely helps. Do you have any top tips for how people can stay well during this current lockdown pandemic?
Yeah, I think it's very individual, but I think there are lots of small things that we can be doing to help ourselves over this time. And a lot of them have been spoken about, but I think basics really are making sure that we are eating well, we are sleeping well, and we're getting out or staying active. I think getting outside and into nature is really important. Staying connected is really important. Being careful with how much news and social media we're consuming is quite important. But also I think the main thing is really looking after ourselves and just having lots and lots of self-care.
Steph, absolutely great. And I know as well as there is a workshop for students recently about how to look after yourselves, and UA92 as a whole just raises awareness about mental health, health and well-being. And most recently, there's a campaign about loneliness and loads of stuff going on to raise awareness for World Mental Health Day, which I was passionate about and I absolutely loved. But Steph, what would you say to any potential student who was worrying about university and worrying about accessing the inclusive support service? And me personally, I would say, don't be afraid to ask for help.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You've hit the nail on the head, Abs. Don't be afraid to ask for help. We are here and we're here for you from now, from today. Don't wait until you get here. I'm available. I can contact people and we can have a chat through things before people get here. It can be daunting and it can be a time that's full of apprehension, but we are here to support you. We're here to make you feel at home and comfortable. And so I would say just reach out. With the wellbeing service and the inclusive support service, the email would be inclusivsupport@ua92.ac.uk. So if you send an email, then I'll get back to you and we can arrange a chat.
Thanks, Steph. Always lovely to speak to you, but I'll be back in the studio now, Steph. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
And we have Abs back in the room. Thank you for that.
Hello guys, teleportation skills at its finest.
Great stuff. Well, that brings us back to the end of the event, and we're going to stick around to answer any questions that you may have.
And don't forget, after the festive break, we'll be back for our next event on Wednesday, the 6th of January. We'll be talking about applying through UCAS with some fab last-minute application tips. Book your place on our website.
Abs, someone would love to know a little bit more about the character and personal development part of your time here at UA92. What does that look like?
The character and personal development part is, I touched on it before, it's about finding your traits and your skills. For example, we learn about health and well-being week. It gives you job-ready skills, it makes you job-ready, and it makes you have a positive outlook on life. You have so many different people coming in, like Michelle Partington, and it gives you key traits to be successful in anywhere in life, and it gets you job-ready, not just job-ready, it makes you life-ready, teaches you new skills, and you have a coach as well during the TTC week, which is absolutely great. I'm saying, I'm just so happy you and I have done this.
And what might the coach help you with?
Oh, so I've got a personal coach called Christina. Shout out to you, Christina. You should be watching. She's a PE tutor. So our coaches are not directly linked to our core studies.
Yeah.
And Christina is there to support you during TTC week. And it's there to just any support you may need, anything you're struggling with, or just a chat and how your assignment's going. And having that personal coach who's not on your course leader gives it a fresh outlook on things. And it genuinely makes you appreciate the support you're getting, because any support you get, grab it with both hands.
Yeah, I really wish I'd had something like that when I was at university.
Oh, is it?
Hindsight, hey.
Yes.
There's another question.
Ooh.
What is it like being part of a new small university?
So, I was at another university before and I left because I was struggling. But being part of a small university, I think it's great. I personally have better relationships with staff. You get to know people more. There's smaller class sizes. It's not intimidating to walk into a massive theatre. Well, we don't do no theatres here. We do small class sizes. And it's just a really, really great environment. And it's practical. You get to see regular staff members. And for me, having ADHD and anxiety, it absolutely works well for me. I first it's apprehensive, but it's perfect.
Yeah, you feel in a good social environment. And how do you feel the classes compare to college? Is it a big step up from your classes? Is it a different style of learning? What's it like?
I think it's a big step up in a way where you're more mature now in a university environment, but it's more making your job ready at the same time. I feel like it's getting you, it's preparing you for the next stages of your life. It's preparing you for being job ready. It's giving you those skills that you need. And for me personally, it's not like college or school. Everybody's treated as adults.
Yeah.
And one thing I like about UA92 is that the support there for everyone in the classroom, whereas college, the teaching focuses on 50 kids. But in UA92, the tutor focuses on everybody.
Yeah. Wow. One more question.
Ooh,
well, a few more questions. Gary says, I'm more practical on my college course. Will UA92 suit me?
Oh, Gary, let me tell you, Gary, it is practical. I am a practical guy myself, Gary, if you didn't notice. I love hands-on things, and UA92 is 199% practical.
Okay.
I personally feel like the journalism course is practical in the studio. The PE course, you do a bit of theory, obviously, you got to do theory, but there's no exams.
Okay.
And that's a good thing about UA92. There are practical aspects of it depending what course you do. For example, if you do journalism and media, you do editing, you do podcasting, PE, journalism, PE and sports science, you do PE stuff and sports science stuff. Accounting and finance, you do a bit of practical things. So I'm going to tell you, Gaz, it's practical.
And there's no end of year exams, is that what you have? Is it, you work in a block? In a block?
Oh, is it? I'm glad you mentioned that.
Okay, good.
So we work in block structures, 6-week block, which is easy.
Okay.
And it's pretty straightforward because in traditional unis, I'm sure you know this is you have exams, end of year exams, you have loads of assignments. But UA92 have an amazing approach to learning. It's distinctive, it's unique, and it's fresh.
Okay.
You learn in 6-week blocks. So each module is in 6-week blocks. So you know what you're doing for those 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So you do one block, that's one module out of the way.
Okay.
That's 20 credits.
Yeah.
So then you do another 20 credits, another 60 credits in the bag.
And that helps with concentration.
And you don't have to worry about end of year exams.
Yeah.
You don't have palpitations. Oh, I've got an exam. No.
Okay, great. Another question.
Ooh, yes, more questions.
2 people have asked this. What are the media facilities like, and what do you use them for?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that question. So the media facility is, as you can see, me and Izzy on the breakfast studio, that breakfast TV show. This is like a TV studio. It's absolutely amazing. There's so many different roles you can have working in the media lab. Me, myself, I'm not blowing my own trumpet. I like to present. I like to be in front of the camera.
No.
And Izzy too. But there's loads of different roles. And one thing I learned, jokes aside, is I've learned different transferable skills. I've learned how to use a technical studio because sometimes I panic and say, oh, I can't do technical. But I've learned the different roles within a TV studio. There's a studio runner, there's a director, there's a floor manager, there's a rider, because we've got our riders. And there's loads of different things you can do. Me, if you haven't noticed already, guys, I created a show called The Morning Grind. The Morning Grind. It's a breakfast TV show with my group, and it's absolutely great. There's loads of different roles to do. But me personally, me and Izzy love this.
Next question.
Ooh.
I play football. Are there any opportunities to play for the uni? I'll answer that one.
Oh, you want one, is it?
Yeah, I know you've got friends in football, but I'll answer it.
So,
yeah, the team has been set up and played. They played a friendly before lockdown, and they'll be joining the Inter-University League books this season, I believe.
Oh, Izzy knows the stuff. Yes,
You've got a few friends that play football.
So we've got John Basher. Big up to you, John Basher. I know you're watching. He plays football. We've got James, Joe Hindle, Jack, Max are all on the team.
Yeah.
And Regan as well.
A lot of name dropping there. And a question that I think that people will be thinking, if people are a bit unsure about applying to university at this time, what advice would you give them, do you think?
I say, do your research. Don't do what I do. I go into that one uni straight away. Yes, I like it. And I didn't. I feel like you know what's right for you. Do your research. Go to universities and speak to students like myself or staff members like Izzy, because I personally feel like you get a feel for the university if you're actually on campus, COVID safe, but speak to one of our students, look at our marketing campaign, and I genuinely feel like UA92 is new, but it's growing, it's fresh, and I personally feel like this is going to be, it's going to put money on the map, as Bugsy would say.
Another question that's come through on email.
Ooh.
What is your favourite thing about UA92?
Oof, one. I've got many favourite things. I can say a couple. One of my favourite things about UA92 is getting to meet new people, and I genuinely mean this by bottom of my heart. I might be a bit shy now. Izzy is new here, 4 weeks, and I introduced myself, and it's about meeting new people, and I genuinely feel like I like to make people welcome, and I think Izzy has been great support here. Oh, it's been here 4 weeks, but it's been a really, really great support. Like looking at CV skills for all of us. We're doing a student ambassador event. She spoke to us, and I think for me, it's like meeting loads of different friends. And in particular, on TTC week last year, I made a good friend with John Basher. He's really, really good. And Emily Hogg, who is a gem of our course as well. They're really, really great. But most importantly, I think for me, it's the staff as well as the students, especially the wellbeing officer, Steph. She's been really, really great. And just Sahela, who is the events manager. And I've just been great. And Ryan, everybody's just been great. But if I could choose one thing, I'm just going to say it is meeting Izzy.
Oh, you're funny. There's another question that says, can I get some more advice on student finance? It's a little confusing. Of course you can. You just need to email outreach@ua92.ac.uk. Abs, what do you hope to do when you finish at UA92?
Oh, I'm going to get sad when you say that. I don't want to finish yet.
Okay.
Think about it, it's going to be finished. But hopefully, I would like to be working broadcast, be a presenter in TV and radio. But I'd still like to be a part of UA92. I feel like I would like to I like to inspire other students, like dream, believe, and achieve. Like if I can do it, you can do it. If I'm a presenter, I still like to help out. I like to work in community engagement, outreach, as well as being a broadcaster on TV and radio.
Mhm.
And I personally believe if you put your mind to it, you can do it. And I think with the skills that I've learned here and the support I have from UA92, I genuinely believe that I can achieve my dreams.
Mhm.
And I feel like for me, no dream is too big.
Mhm. That's
And
amazing.
what was that saying that you said to me?
Which one?
The quote one. I really liked it.
Take your time, but don't waste your time.
Yeah, and that's
that one.
really good. I really liked. I actually like. You know what, Izzy? That's really good.
Amazing. And how do you think you have changed as a student, as an individual, in your personal life and in your academic life since you've joined here?
So before UA92, I was struggling with my mental health.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really know what to do, and I thought, you know what, Abs? I need to buck up.
Mm-hmm.
I need to just do something. Stop whinging. Like it's hard, easy said than done. So I had to do the leap of faith.
Okay.
And I thought, you know what, I'm going to apply for UA92. Is it for me? Is it not? And you know what? I wouldn't look back. My life's changed. I'm not to be like cliche. My life's changed like for the better. There's a time where I didn't believe in myself, where I had support now from Steph, the wellbeing officer, Sahela, like endless opportunities I've had.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know you guys recognize my face. I was on like the Met stops. It's like, bloody hell, that is me. And just different opportunities. I feel like for me, I've grown as a person.
Okay.
It's like, you know, a cocoon. When the cocoon goes and it nourishes and it's like a massive butterfly.
Yeah.
I feel like a cocoon. I came here like not knowing what to do, and I'm standing here today, hosting a live Q&A, believing in myself, saying, you know what, Abs, well done.
That is amazing.
So just believe in yourself. And I think for me, I didn't believe myself. I didn't have that self-belief. And I think for me, I've turned that around into a positive.
Yeah, amazing. Another one that's come through on email.
Thick and fast,
Yeah,
isn't it?
I think we've got a couple left. My part-time job is really important to me. How do you balance studying with part-time work?
Oh, good question. That's genuinely a really good question. So for me, I work part-time in a shop down the road, and it works perfectly for your timetable because UA92, you're either a 9-1 student AM or a PM student. PM is 2 till 6, and it definitely fits around your work because I'm in uni 9-1 and I go to work for 2 o'clock and I'm bang on time, so it works perfectly. It's flexible, and you can always change your shift around because you're either an AM or a PM student for the 3 years you are here. So UA92 will not say, oh yeah, change your shift last minute because you're in uni. No,
Mhm.
you have a set timetable so you can fit around your studies and be flexible.
Okay. I think that's it for questions today. Is there any more that are due to come in the chat? Does anyone know? No, brilliant. Well, thank you again so much for coming, Abs. It's been an absolute pleasure.
It's been a pleasure for you.
Yeah.
Izzy, I'm not gonna lie, Izzy. It's been a pleasure to work with you, Izzy. The
Abs
host
is
and the
biased.
most.
But we look forward to seeing you all again. And if you have any questions, please do make sure you send them to outreach@ua92.ac.uk. But that's us done for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. I hope you loved it. And Izzy, thank you.
Thank you, Abs. We'll look clap for ourselves.